So over the last 10 years, I've heated my shop with this, and with this, and with this, and with this. And in this video, I'm going to go through all the pros and cons of these 4 different heating units and help you make the right decision on how to heat your own garage. So let's get started. So for a little reference of what size garage I work in, I built a 24-foot wide by 28-foot long garage. It's up on a row of blocks, so the sidewalls are about 9 feet tall, and then I built it with scissor truss. So I think the peak is around 11 feet. I'm not quite sure, but I would consider it an oversized 2-stall garage. So I live in Minnesota. I'm dealing with a cold climate. Now the walls are just 2x4 construction, insulated, and then fully insulated attic. Can't remember exactly the insulated R value, but not crazy, but pretty well insulated overall for a garage. And the first heater I used after building this garage is this portable ventless propane heater. So this little guy was my first heater, and there's really a lot to like about it. So to me, a number one pro of a heater like this is it's cheap. Now models similar to this, they range from probably $100 to $150. So for a shop heater, you can't really get much cheaper than that. Also, the heat that a small heater like this can produce is really incredible. It can go from 30,000 BTUs all the way up to 80,000 BTUs. So this style actually can kind of collapse and become basically half the size for storage, which is really convenient. And this is kind of a generic, I would say, portable propane ventless heater. So you might see kind of torpedo style ones as well. So there's a lot of kind of different styles to choose from. It doesn't necessarily have to be this one, but they all kind of work in the same way. Now another huge pro about this heater compared to all the other ones we'll talk about today is this is the only one that doesn't require any electricity. So even my other propane style heater does require electricity to run. So this one, in case you have a power outage, or if you're using it in a shed, or your garage doesn't have power yet, or whatever the case might be, this one, all you need is a propane tank and the heater, and you're ready to go. Also with this heater, as I mentioned, that BTU range, this is my most powerful heater in the shop. And with a max out of 80,000 BTUs, this heater heats up my shop quicker than any other by far. So another big plus about this heater is it hooks right up to your standard 20-pound propane tank. So if you have a garage and looking for a heater, a good chance you have a propane tank like this already, typical gas grill propane tank. And what's convenient about this, if you run low, ton of gas stations, they can be refilled anywhere. You can swap out the tanks very easily. So really convenient for if you run low, you can just swap out a new tank. Now the last big plus about this heater is just how portable it is. So the other 3 options we're going to go over, those are all wall mounted and they can't be moved. With this one, it's so lightweight, you can kind of just pick it up easily, move it all around, move it from your shop or your shed or wherever you might need it, and it's a really big plus for a unit like this. Now overall, this is a terrific heater. I've used it a ton, but there are some negatives about it. So I'd say for sure the biggest negative on a propane heater like this is the smell. So because this is not vented outside, all that burning, all that stuff is staying inside your heated area, and it causes odor. Now this can definitely be intensified depending on what kind of work you're doing. If you're doing, say, staining wood or whatever, I feel like that heater picks up those smells and it can be quite unbearable depending on what projects you're doing. These heaters are a little strange because it almost seems like they do better if your garage isn't as insulated or tight, or more of an open workspace where they'll heat up the area. They'll still heat up the area really nicely, but maybe some of the smells kind of leach out. But definitely to me, that's the number one drawback on a heater like this. Also a big negative on this style heater is it really is just a temporary solution. So this unit has kind of a control valve where you can go from your 30,000 BTU up to your 80,000 BTU. There is no thermostat or anything where you can just set it at 70 and leave it. So definitely more of a temporary, I'm out in the space using it. Once I'm done, you're shutting this thing off. So overall, this really is a great little unit, perfect temporary solution for just getting started. But let's move on to the next more permanent solution. Now the first permanently mounted heater I put in my shop is this 240 volt electric heater. Now this unit can go up to 5,000 watts, which I believe is around 17,000 BTU. You have to do a calculator, I'm not an expert on that, but something like that. And it can go from, I think, 3,000, 5,000, and 4,000. So you have 3 different options of what heating setting you can have it at. Now the number one pro of why I got this heater is basically because it did not use propane. So the propane heaters are nice where you can heat up a space quickly, but dealing with the tanks and when you're heating them that quickly, they don't last that long. This, with being electric, there's no running out and switching out propane tanks. Now price-wise, a heater like this is roughly around the same price as the propane heater we just talked about, but I still consider it a little bit more expensive option because you have to factor in the wiring to wire this thing up. So my channel is Chad DIY. Of course, I installed this myself, as you can see by the professional Romex job. Don't look at that too closely, but I was lucky enough to have my electrical panel here close, so it was easy to run the wire. Now, if you do feel confident in running the wire yourself, like it's not really a big add-on, these things, yeah, if you range from $100 to $200 for a unit like this, it may be, I don't know, between the breaker and the wiring, you could be at least at $50 more to run the wire and get everything set up. But overall, the cost of a DIY install on a unit like this is very reasonable. Now, unfortunately, I found a heater like this probably has more cons than pros. So let's go through a few of those. The biggest con for these things are they're really expensive to run. Now, straight resistance electric heating is the most expensive heating option you can choose. It is nice you're not dealing with propane or whatever, but if you're heating a shop, especially a shop my size, the bill can really add up. Now, depending on what you pay for a kilowatt, and now I'm not an expert, so my math's probably wrong on that, but just for easy math, no one pays this anymore, but say you take 10 cents a kilowatt hour while you're using 5,000 watts, or I believe that'd be 5 kilowatts, like it can add up very quickly where if you just leave this thing running on max, I don't know if you're at 12, 15 bucks a day, take that over the course of a month, it can really add up on your electric bill. Also, a big con with this being around 17,000 BTU, if you're coming out to a freezing cold garage and you try to just fire this thing up, it's not going to get you the heat that you really want. As I found, this unit's a lot better just supplemental heat if you're not leaving it on all the time. And trying to leave it on all the time, now this doesn't, I think you might be able to get an actual thermostat. It does have some kind of controls where maybe you could figure out, like, if I leave it on low, does that equal 50 degrees in the garage? I don't know, I never got too crazy with experimenting like that as far as just keeping on heating it. But especially this being a 5,000 max unit, I think you can get 7,500 watt units, which would obviously heat up better, but also cost more while you run them. Another negative I found with this heater is it's kind of loud, especially when I was filming YouTube videos or whatever. I'd have to turn it off while I record, then turn it back on while I edit it, and it was kind of this constant back and forth, so it just got a little annoying with the sound it did create. Overall, this is a pretty cheap option where you can just kind of throw a heater in the garage. I don't think it does anything well compared to the other heaters we're going to talk about. So basically, I use this in combination with that portable propane heater we talked about, where I'd heat up the garage to whatever temperature, and I kind of just run this to supplement. So I don't know, it just wasn't powerful enough, and I didn't want to pay that much money to heat the garage all the time for a unit like this. All right, now we're going to move on to heater number 3, the vented propane heater. All right, we'll have a few creative camera angles to try to film myself and the heater at the same time, because it's 10 feet up in the air, 11 feet up in the air. But this is a 50,000 BTU Mr. Heater. Now, this is kind of the go-to garage heaters. This is what most people consider a garage heater. Basically a vented straight out the back, propane, or you can get natural gas depending on what you have in the area, but pretty standard for a garage setup. And there really is good reason for it being the #1 garage heater style, is because it just works so well. Now, the #1 pro for this heater is it is really a permanent solution. Now, here like this is going to easily heat an oversized 2-stall garage like this. If you have a bigger garage, they definitely make them in a bigger BTU size, but it's really going to have no issue with keeping a garage. If you want it at 7 degrees all the time, it's going to keep it there, no problem. Another pro with it being vented straight out the back is you're not going to have the smell like we talked about with that first propane heater. With that venting, you're kind of getting those, I don't know if it's combustion gases, I don't know the correct term, but you're getting them straight out of the building. So basically you're getting the heat, the smell, and all that other junk is going outside. So you're having a nice, clean working environment. And really, when I've had this on, I've never noticed the smell or any issues like that. So it's been really great. Now, this might seem a little weird going so quickly through the pros, and really, it's a great heater. I get why so many people, that's a garage heater, that's all you need, and you're good to go with that. But I think it is worth mentioning some of the cons with a heater like this. And one of the first cons is this kind of a complicated install. Now, if you're relatively handy, I think you could do it all yourself. I did it all myself. It wasn't too complicated. The venting actually is more complicated than the gas line. I thought the gas line was going to be worse because I've never done gas line or venting, but I don't know. The venting was a little trickier for myself, but overall, if you're a total novice, maybe have someone do it, especially with the gas line, but it can be a little tricky for some. The next con, which could be a pro as well, is I don't have natural gas in my house. I live in the country, so it's just propane. So I have to have a separate propane tank. Now, a pro with a big propane tank is you can run this thing for probably months, depending on how long you use it and how big your propane tank is before a refill. But the con is also you do need to get it refilled. So having a propane tank, you're either buying it or you're renting it, which you have to pay a yearly fee. I think I pay like $50 a year, so it's not a huge fee, but it is a cost. And also in the wintertime, if I need propane, I gotta make sure it's shoveled so the propane guy can get to the tank. So there's some minor inconveniences you have to consider with propane, but overall, if you're using it all the time, if you have a big enough tank, I don't think you have to worry too much about filling it up in the winter. Another con around into that propane style heater is there's a little bit of a startup and shut down, so it takes a little bit kind of getting the fan going, then it starts up, same thing with the shutdown. And when it's really cold, I find it kind of short cycling quite a bit, but what it really helped is this thermostat here. So this Lux thermostat has a swing capability. Not all thermostats have that. And what you can do is basically say you set it at 55, you can have the swing where your heater will come on at say 52 or 53, and it'll warm up to 57, and then it won't come back on until 53. Now, if you're out here, like if this is your house and you want it at 70, this would be kind of annoying. But I think in a garage situation, this is great, where, yeah, you can it heats up a little bit more, but that way that propane heater is not constantly coming on or off. So definitely recommend checking out if you have one of these propane heaters to get that swing style thermostat. So we did touch base on a couple of cons, but overall, I really can't complain about this unit. I see why so many people have it in the garage, and that's the only one they have in the garage, and there really is a lot to like about it. But as we move on to the fourth heater I have in my shop, there's just a few little extras that has that kind of puts it over the top for me. So last heater we're going to talk about today is this Della mini split. Now, I know a lot of people, when they think about mini splits, they think about air conditioning, which this thing does fantastically as well, but it also is a terrific heater. Now, I'm a big fan of mini splits. A couple of years ago, I did install one in my house, and that's kind of our primary heating source. We do run an electric boiler for in-floor heat when it gets really cold, but the mini split does do a terrific job at heating. And a huge plus for a mini split unit like this is just how quiet it is. Now, throughout filming this whole video, I've had this mini split running in the back, and you really can barely tell it was on, especially with the microphone. I can tell in real time there's a slight fan noise, but really it's just ultra quiet. Now, 3 heaters we talked about before, that would not be the case. I would not have any of them running while I'm actually filming because you just hear this really annoying sound in the background. So basically when I've filmed in the past with those heaters, I've had to turn them off, film, and then turn them back on so I don't get too cold. Now, another huge plus of the mini split unit is it's fairly inexpensive to run. Now, before we talked about that 240 volt electric unit that used a ton of electricity and cost a lot of money, well, this uses about a third of that. So when we talked about that other unit using maybe $12 a day on the coldest months, this thing's more in the line of maybe $3, maybe $4. So instead of $300-400 a month in heating, you're closer to that $100 range, and that's for probably the coldest of months. So also with this unit being electric, you're not dealing with any of the propane. So you're not dealing with any of the smells, you're not dealing with trying to keep the propane tank filled or shoveling the propane tank for the propane guy. So that's another huge plus for electric. So it's like the vented propane unit style. This really is a set it and forget it type unit where if you want to keep your garage at 55 or 60 or whatever, you just set it on the remote thermostat, you plug it in and it'll just keep it at that nice constant temperature. Now, as far as a few cons with the mini split unit, it is going to be on the more expensive end. If you have these professionally installed, like it's kind of ridiculous. I don't know, they could charge $5,000 for an install for a quality unit. This is a Della brand, and I don't know if it's $800 or I'll provide the link, but I can't remember exactly how much it was, and then you're going to have some extras. So it's going to be pretty comparable probably for the cost of this compared to that vented propane unit. The propane unit itself is cheaper, but then when you add in the venting and the gas lines, especially the propane tank, you're probably actually more on a DIY install on the propane setup than one of these mini splits here. Another con about a unit like this compared to the propane style is you're going to have a lot lower BTU. So we talked about the 50,000 BTU for the direct vent or 80,000 for the ventless, but these range from, I think they start at maybe 9,000 BTU, 12,000, 18,000, 24, I don't know. They might go up to around 36. So you can definitely size them for your garage, but what I think these are ideal for is keeping your garage at a consistent temperature. Now these units aren't really ideal for you're coming out to a frozen garage in December, the concrete slab is frozen on a Saturday morning and you turn a unit like this on and you want heat in a half an hour. They're not really designed for that. They're great though for, hey, I want to keep my garage at 60 degrees or whatever, 55 degrees. You just set it, and some of these thermostats actually might only go down to around 60, but you kind of set it at whatever you want it. You forget it, and then it just keeps that nice constant temperature. Also, another con is the install on this. Everything's fairly simple. Now, this is a 240 unit as well. You can get 110 units depending on how big the size is, but the line sets, if you've ever watched many split videos, the line set is definitely the tricky part on a unit like that. Not that the propane direct vent didn't have some challenges as well, but they're definitely, they are DIY friendly, I would say, but if you want to say that, if we want to get it reasonably priced, you definitely want to DIY a setup like this. And the final thing I really love about these mini split units when we're talking about heat is you can heat your shop throughout the winter, but then in the summertime when it gets too hot, you got air conditioning. So it's really a great two for one solution when all these other ones are just providing you heat, especially a Minnesota climate where I live, freezing cold in the winter, and it can get kind of warm and humid in the summer too. So this can, it has a dehumidifier mode, so you can just run that to keep the humidity down and really make things a lot more comfortable in the shop year round. All right, so there you have it, the breakdown of the 4 heaters I've used throughout the last 10 years. As I kind of mentioned, I like the mini split the best, but you really can't go wrong with the mini split or the direct vent propane heater. Those other ones are just kind of maybe getting you started, but not permanent solutions. So with all that being said, if you like that video, I always appreciate you hitting that like button, subscribing to my channel always helps. And if you have any questions, leave that comment in the comment section below. I do my best to try to get back to all the people that comment, even the mean ones. I'll still probably respond to you. So whatever you want with that. But as always, I'm Chad from Chad DIY, and we'll see you on the next one.